Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Let's be Kia Simone and let's get into this final installment of this reunion because we have made it and we bless him. Let's get off into this. Now, before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And before I give a shout out to my super thankses, I want to take a second to thank y'all for all the love y'all showed my mom for her birthday. When I tell y'all made her day, y'all made her day, okay? My mama called me, hey, I ain't watched this video yet, but I was reading these comments. Why is these people telling you happy belated birthday and your birthday until next month? I said, Mama, I think they talking to you. She said, oh, they do. And say, Mama, oh, shut. Oh, girl. Okay, girl, I'll call you back. I'm going to read my comments. Okay, girl. So thank y'all so much. Y'all made her entire day. Thank you. And of course, I got to shout out my super thanks. So shout out to Yvette Greer and happy belated birthday to you. Her birthday was the same day as my mom. Shout out to Tech Mama. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cece, Amber, Ladae, Elijah's, Mimi. I love y'all so much. And on Cash App, I got to give a shout out to Lorenzo Malone and to my no shout out Cash App. I ain't going to shout you out, but I got to let you know I see you because I love you so much. Thank you. And Lorenzo sent a whole message. Hey, you ain't been down here in a few days. Where you at? You okay? Hey, if you going through something, that's all right. Just come down here and talk to us about it. When I tell you I love y'all, I love y'all. I know y'all think I'm just joking and I'm over the top half the time, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into this review because, yeah, we got some things to talk about. So, of course, part 3 picks up where we left off at the end of part 2, which is with Kimmy going back and forth with Destiny about cut scenes. Kimmy is telling Destiny that she finds her excuse of cut scenes to be comical because it happens to everybody. And she says production will say to her, well, I need y'all to talk about this. And her response to production is, don't you see me trying? So Carlos asks Destiny, well, if there is another season, if we keep you around here, will we be able to see more of the relationship that you're in now? Destiny said, absolutely. Carlos said, well, why he ain't here now? Well, I would think the answer to that would be because he wasn't on the show this season. Like, why would he just pop up at the reunion? Destiny said he wanted to be here. I wanted him to be here, but due to unforeseen circumstances, he wasn't able to make it. Or in other words, he ain't on y'all payroll, so he wasn't coming for free. Carlos said, well, have any of the cast members met him? She said, yeah, some of them. And I think that was Tisha in the background. Said, yeah, on FaceTime. Just Tisha. Carlos said, well, has anyone met him in person? She said, yeah, Stormy's husband, Courtney, Tiffany and Lou. Carlos said, and this is still a long distance relationship. Destiny said, yeah, and I'm working on that habit in therapy because we know that's how her last marriage started. Carlos explains to Destiny that the fans are very invested in the show, and hopefully him telling her that will motivate her to share more. Destiny said, well, I'm an open book, so y'all come on and read. She said, I will share as much as I can. What does that mean? So then we move on to the second chamber of hell, to Mel versus Destiny. So Carlos starts the segment by explaining to Mel that, of course, we met Destiny on the show through her. After Destiny's divorce, things seem to be on the decline between the two of you. So what happened that has caused you and Destiny to get to the point of not being on speaking terms? Mel starts explaining that Destiny did an interview at some point where she spoke about Mel coming to visit her after she had some sort of incident with court. I don't know what happened. She went to court for something. Mel came over to be supportive after her court date. She says that in this interview, Destiny said, oh, well, she only came over for like 5 minutes. She said it was just not accurate. She set boundaries for herself and she's just not going to go back and forth with people. She gave a speech about how you don't have to agree with her decision. She's going to do what she wants to do for her emotional health, her mental health, her spiritual health, all the health. So Carlos asked Destiny, how do you feel about what you just heard? She said, it sounds good. In other words, that's some bullshit. So Carlos turns the question to Destiny and he asked her, what do you think has gotten y'all to this point that y'all are at now? Destiny said, I think it's a 360 where we're back at square one. This all started right here where we're at now in LA at the last reunion. It was that whole thing about people were talking about her and she heard things being said, you know that. So Carlos asked Destiny, well, did you talk trash about Melody in that room with Tisha? Destiny said no, and I want Mel to say what she heard. Me too, because I'm tired of this. Especially being that she launched this whole victim campaign over some she never divulged. She's the victim. These people is the ops. They've been having a whole meeting about her and they talked so bad about her. But what they said about her is a secret. Girl, go to hell. Mel said, well, you can keep wanting. We've had that conversation. Destiny said, no, I don't have to want. The fact of the matter is you're not going to keep playing in my face. Mel said, well, I'm not playing in your face. I don't even talk to you, sweetie. I said, not the girl who done told everybody, don't call me sweetie. Don't call me girl. Not you. Destiny had to gather herself for a minute. Destiny said, well, you're talking to me now, sweetie. Yeah, because Mel and her double standards can carpool to hell. Mel starts mumbling under her breath and she's so childish, it's not even funny. And she's so manipulative that she puts forth these false narratives, and then when she is directly confronted about the bullshit she puts out there, she performs every antic except telling the truth. Destiny said, this is some bullshit. Where we are is some bullshit. And Tisha said, well, somebody needed a storyline. Carlos said, who needed a storyline, Tisha? Tisha said, whoever started the lie about me and Destiny was talking about somebody. Carlos asked Tisha, so are you denying talking shit about Melody in that room? I said, are they on trial for blasphemy against Jezebel or some shit? This is a season-old lie that Carlos will question anybody but Mel about. It's like he has everybody on trial for answering to every lie Mel has ever told. Mel is the one who made these claims. The burden of proof is on her. Ask her. Tisha said we were talking about what happened on stage. And what I did say to Destiny is that I thought she should reach out to Mel because when you were asking her those questions on that stage about her and Martell, she just looked so sad. Tisha is a shady bitch. Tisha said I felt like she needed a friend. Carlos said, Melody, do you believe that? She said, absolutely not. We know you don't believe nothing but your own lies. We know. Tisha said, when you're sad, I feel for you. I actually used to have love for you. I mean, although you've done a bunch of evil things and you have a dark soul, that one woke Mel up. Carlos said, why do you think she has a dark soul? Tisha said she's very pretty on the outside. She's the true definition of a devil in sheep's clothing. Carlos and Maurice said, damn. Yeah, because she gives a queen of the damned, dark-winged duck, evil kind of vibe. Yeah, she does. Mel said, well, if I'm such a dark soul, you should be happy the dark soul has been removed from your life. Tisha said, I'm not happy or sad. It really don't matter. Can somebody cue Evelyn Lozada? You as a non-motherfucking factor. Mel said, well, since I have such a dark soul, keep my name out your mouth. Tisha said, well, don't talk about me then. Mel said, I don't talk about you. Tisha said, yes, you absolutely do. Are you nuts? Mel got to be out her natural mind when you spent just about every scene this season talking about her or somebody other than yourself. It's delusional and dishonest at best to say, I don't talk about you, when they have actual camera footage that has been aired on national TV of you talking about her. But maybe if you were investing your energy into something other than being a villain playing a victim on a reality TV show, you would be able to talk about yourself rather than everybody else. Mel said, well, thank God that the dark soul has been removed from your life. Tisha said, I got a whole lot of things to thank God for, but that ain't on the list. In other words, I got a whole lot of better things to talk to God about than you. Carlos said, well, Destiny, would you agree that Melody has a dark soul? Destiny said, well, I would say that there are things she's done that are very dark. Carlos said, such as? Destiny brought up Mel's appearance on Carlos's after show. Yeah, that bullshit you facilitated. Yeah, her coming on that show, telling the world she gave me $6,000 to pay my light bill. Mel starts flipping that hair like she do when she get ready to lie. But girl, I did not say that. I did not say to pay your light bill. Oh my God. That was not Carlos's question. Carlos said basically Melody came on TV and intimated that she had given you money to help you or support you while you were going through your divorce. Correct. Now this girl sat here and said, I never said I gave you $6,000 for your light bill. So they rolled tape and used a damn lie. On Carlos's after show, Carlos brought up to Mel that she went online and revealed that she gave money to Destiny in her time of need. Mel says, I'm the kind of friend that if I see a need, I'm not going to wait on you to ask. I'm just going to help. Like, if I come to your house and I see a utility notice on the door, oh, that's all it takes for me. Carlos said, was there a utility notice? Yes, there was. Carlos said, and how much did you send her? $5,000-$6,000. Destiny said, so you gave me $5,000-$6,000 for my bills? Mel said, I never said for your bills. I never said that. You are a liar and a spineless one at that, because you talk cash. And then as soon as somebody confronts you about all the bullshit you said, you start backpedaling and you realize you ain't got as much in your account as you thought you had, and you done wrote some checks your ass can't cash. So when Mel denies that she ever stated or insinuated that she gave Destiny money for her bills, Destiny said, but that's what you made it look like in that moment. And Carlos starts trying to sweep it under the rug. But basically, she did support you though, right? Destiny said, yeah, but we're not going to make this look like this was some one-sided friendship and Destiny was so needy and Destiny needed all Mel's help and she couldn't get on her feet on her own. We're not going to do that. Carlos said, well, did she say needy and broke? Destiny said, I'm saying the picture that was drawn. And Carlos is being intentionally obtuse. At this point, to me, I realize that Carlos's intention is to protect Mel and her bullshit at all costs. When you start to behave like one person is bigger than the show, you got a problem. This is clearly very one-sided, because I'm trying to understand why there was no line of questioning to Mel, who has clearly contradicted herself. She said one thing on this after show and is now sitting here denying what she said, and we don't see her have to answer one question about the lies she's told. But Destiny is basically being told pipe down. I mean, she gave you a few dollars for something, right? Destiny said, and furthermore, this was insinuated and put out there and then never ever cleared up by someone who was supposed to be like a friend and a sister to me. It's been a year. Mel starts, well, I don't clarify everything. I don't even clarify everything about me. But when you put lies out about other people, you need to clarify them. When you choose not to clarify them, basically what you're doing is committing defamation of character and slander. What's really pissing me off is it feels like Carlos let Mel come on this after show, say anything she wanted to say about anybody she wanted to say it about, and then he wants to hold everybody else accountable for their reactions to all that she said. At this point, Carlos needs to get out the host chair, okay? Because the conflict of interest is glaring. You cannot effectively do that job when your primary intention is to protect one person, to cover one person's ass. It's like he's either afraid of her or in cahoots with her. Destiny said, but when you know it's wrong and you know it's affecting my life, just like you stopped a business situation from going through, Mel starts to deny, nope, did not. Mel lying so bad, she can't even make eye contact. She just looking at the floor, nope, did not. Destiny said, you can say that you didn't. But when you tell people that your friend is a liar and a snake, who wants to do business with them? Yeah, that's defamation of character and that's slander. And I'd have her ass in court where she liked to go on dates with Martell all the time. Mel said her working with somebody does not affect my coins. I don't care what people doing. She and I don't even work together. And that's your problem. Mel is the type of person that does not want anybody around her to be more successful than her. I really think she was bothered by an opportunity being offered to Destiny, and she did what she could to shut it down. Carlos said, well, let me throw this out there because a lot of fans have expressed that they think this might be the issue. Melody, did you feel like Destiny was too chummy with Martell? Martell looked like where the that come from? So we're just going to skip past the conversation. We just going to overlook that she sets out to sabotage people, lies, denies, and cries victim. And we just going to step over that to make Destiny the scapegoat for how Mel behaved. So Mel starts another victim story. Child, I can't take it. She starts out saying, well, in terms of their relationship, did I find it strange? He and I were married 13, 14 years, and I never knew that they were supposed to be such good friends. So when I'm on the phone with you and telling you about this person who's causing me all this headache and heartache and doing things, first of all, didn't she meet Destiny through Martell? So how do you not know that they're these good friends? And secondly, if you met Destiny through Martell and you were so concerned about the relationship she had with Martell, why didn't you pick one of the many amazing lifelong friends you claim to have to confide in? Why would you be trying to recruit Martell's friend to drop him and join your legion? Mel goes on to say, we were connecting on a sense of both of our exes are very similar. So I'm just trying to figure out, why would you be talking to him? Destiny said, where is this going? Because this is leaning in the direction Mel always goes in, which is I'm going to tell your business to avoid dealing with my own. And if Destiny ain't telling her own business, why I'm going to sit up here and let you? If Destiny hasn't shared what the issue was or what happened in her marriage or said something to truly disparage her ex-husband, who are you to spill her tea? And out of nowhere, Mel starts, well, I don't know. I mean, she was calling him at 1 o'clock in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning the other week. So I don't know. I mean, it ain't like I care. I don't care. Destiny said, I'm sorry, what? Martell said, Mel can claim, I don't care, but you more than care. Darling, you're pressed. Because who in the hell and how in the hell do you know who's calling their ex-husband's phone in the wee hours of the morning? How you know? I hate to be the one to break this to you, but this man is actually legally single now. So he's probably getting some shit sent to that phone that makes Destiny's phone calls look like child's play. Carlos is in the background finally asking Mel, how you know? How do you know? Martell says, this Martell? Yeah, you. Now, Mel won't answer Carlos over there asking, how do you know that? So Destiny piped up and said, oh, you talking about when you hacked his phone? Carlos looked absolutely shocked. And Mel started flipping that hair and looking around like, how you know that? Destiny said, when you hacked his phone and was getting into his voicemail and stuff, oh, no, girl. No, sweetie. I don't hack people's phones. Why would I hack his phone? Martell said, I don't know. Mel said, but mine was attempted to be hacked. Mel kills me. Y'all ever notice that everything she's accused of, she always turns around and accuses the next? Carlos says, so you think Martell hacked your phone? Hell yeah. That's why I changed my number the other week. And only like 5 people have it. Ain't your kids a little small for you to be changing your number all the time? So Carlos said, have you ever hacked her phone? Martell said, hell no. But there was a situation where when people were calling my phone, if I didn't answer, it would transfer and ring on her phone. The way we figured that out is people started getting her voicemail when they were calling me. So what I think she's doing is trying to flip that shit. Bingo. Carlos said, okay, hold on, let me clear this up. So Mel, you were receiving phone calls from numbers that were people trying to reach out to Martell? Mel said, yes. Carlos said, so anybody reaching out to Martell, your phone was ringing. She said, yes. I said, somebody did that backwards, allegedly. Your ass is a criminal. Martell said, this is so sad. She said, no, it's not. It's so real. He said, you're pathetic. No, you pathetic. And them little ugly shoes you got on. I said, what in the 4th grade hell? Destiny and Tisha are just laughing. Mel is flipping her hair, pulling through that. She pulling through that wig like she gonna snatch it off. Just dragging the hair through the lies with us, child. It just blows my mind that everything Mel is accused of and there's actual proof of her doing, she accuses everybody else of. She claimed Martell is trying to hack her phone, yet we find out that she had Martell's calls forwarded to hers. She brought Kiki on the show and was conspiring to bring an alleged side chick on the show, but you claim Tisha was the one coming for your marriage. And then cuts everybody else off for consorting with her enemies after she had a plan to bring Tisha's enemy on the show. Girl, like, please. book you a first-class trip to hell. Martell just looking at the girl, just, child, my shoes ugly. And Carlos just decides, we're gonna slide right on past this Melody expose. So Destiny, do you have any desire to reconcile your friendship with Mel? I said, what? I have a desire to reconcile with the truth. When is you gonna ask this girl about any of this bullshit she doing? Destiny said, no, no. All that bullshit y'all got during the season, no, that's all gone. She said, but I would like to clear up this whole thing about being too chummy with Martell. The truth of the matter is I've known Martell since I was 15 years old. Now, I moved out of the state and there was no reason for me as a single woman to be in regular communication with this man as a married man, and I live out of the state. She said, now once I got with my ex and I started coming in and out of Huntsville, that's when we started to reconnect. And Martell agreed. Destiny continued on to say, now you say that I was too chummy with him and I should have cut him off for the things he did to you. But if I cut him off for the things he did to you, I would have to cut you off for the very same reason. Martell said, oh, what's the reason? Say the reason, Destiny. What's the reason? Mel said, but did I say that? Yeah. You were upset with the girl for being friends with Martell and anybody else that you deemed an op. This girl. Destiny said, yeah. You were saying you shouldn't have been on the phone with him, and I shouldn't have had to tell you that. That was common sense. Why you be talking to him? So yes, you said that. You just said it a little while ago on this reunion. Mel never owns her stuff. Mel said, well, yeah, when you're on the phone with me and you're saying stuff like, girl, this your ex calling, or this is Martell calling, and I call you back. Destiny said, yeah, because I'm never going to be fake and pretend like I'm not talking to him and it's not him calling. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather be honest with my girl. Like, girl, this is your ex calling. Let me see what you want. I'll call you back. Mel said, but the problem is she was also saying that all he does is sit up and talk about me and bash me. So what you talking to him for? So we're back at the very thing you just claimed you did not say. And the answer to the question of why is she even answering the phone for him would be because she's grown on her phone. The same way that you can go and consort with anybody you want to consort with, you can call Tisha's cousin, Tisha's husband, alleged side chick. You can consort with anybody you want to consort with. She can talk to her friend from childhood that she met you through. So Carlos turns the conversation to Stormy and asks Stormy, how do you feel hearing all these things be said about Mel? Why is she being questioned about how do you feel about hearing these things being said about Mel? Like Mel is the Madonna. Stormy said, I don't really know much about their dynamic with us. We haven't really experienced anything as deep as she's experienced with her or other members of the cast. So I can't really speak to the type of friendship that they've had. We haven't really had any issues, but I feel like you can say that you're really good friends once you've been through something and you've been able to recover from that. We ain't been through shit. So it's really hard to say that, oh, this is some strong shit that stands the test of time. Stormy said, we ain't got there yet, and so now we're good. And Mel is sitting there with her face looking long, because the long and short of what Stormy is saying is I don't know her like that. I can't really say with her like that. I'm distancing myself. Martell said, well, retreat. Retreat now. I said, not abort mission. Stormy started laughing and kept going to say, people want me to be like, oh, we're friends, but we're building a friendship. In other words, I don't really with you. That leads into Martell and Mel arguing. Martell is saying, I feel sorry for her. She said, no, I feel sorry for you. He said, no, I really feel sorry for you because you're such a liar and you're so good at it. Mel said, no, that's you, but I love the projection. Destiny said, no, actually, he really ain't that good at lying. Hence, him getting caught in all the lies he told you. Martell said, I forgive people. I'm still friends with people. Little girl, you're horrible. Not the little girl. Mel said, well, you're only friends with them because you're trying to make a point about me. Because who continues to be friends with people who blasted them and talked about them and was saying you don't have a home builder's license and all the stuff you were saying about him? Mel said they say you're a liar and say all this stuff about you. Why is it that you are still trying to build a friendship with them? And it's because you want to be able to say for this very moment that, see, I get along with everybody. But I don't do that. Cross me and I'm done. Cross me and I'm done. Martell said, but you know that that's been my character over the years. I've always been the type of person to forgive people. And you know why? Because I want to be forgiven too. You know what I mean? No, she don't know what you mean. Martell said, as for you, you've never forgiven anyone for anything. And I've told people, if you ever say that you forgave them, not to trust it because you want something. Mel said, I don't want nothing and don't need nothing. God is my source and has been since I left your dusty ass. Stormy looked low-key disgusted because at the end of the day, if he is dusty, you married, reproduced with, and shared his dusty ass. So you might have a little dust on you too. Now, if Martell sat up and said some shit like that and called her dusty or anything else that she likes to insult people with, it would be the end of the world. Now, you get you one decent wig and think you can just throw all the shade. Baby, you gonna have to go have a seat in hell. Carlos interjects to say, well, Stormy and Destiny, it's good that at least you two were able to, make something out of nothing. Because you know what he ain't gonna do is hold Mel accountable. Destiny said, yeah. Because that's what real people do. Mel just rolled her eyes. So we move into the next segment, which is Carlos addressing the breakdown between Mel and Martell. Good luck. He starts out by explaining that we know that divorce is difficult, but he's trying to find out what's the breakdown between them. What has y'all in this place that y'all are in now? Martell starts explaining that he thinks that the issue is that right now for them, the idea of co-parenting looks different. And for him, as far as a village is concerned, he does not want men watching his children. He said when they were married, that would have never happened. And Carlos said, well, even if the man is their uncle, Martell said, well, listen, it would be different if Mel had been raised with her brother. But Mel didn't meet her brother until she was a teenager, which would mean that he was an adult by the time that she met him because he's much older than her. And I get Martell saying, listen, we ain't about to find out if he was brought up right on my kids. So Carlos asked, well, does him being gay make you feel that way? Martell said, no. I just don't want men watching my children. He said, listen, it comes down to, I don't want a man watching my kids, and I don't want 20-something people watching my kids either. He said, that's why we're in court now. So Carlos turns to Mel and he asked her, why does she find it difficult to co-parent with Martell? She said, because of who I'm being requested to co-parent with and who he is. At the end of the day, he filed the change of custody, so don't think you get to start a battle and you're not going to have to finish the war. Let me tell you what's going to happen. These people are going to look up one day and they're going to have grown kids that resent them because the time and energy and effort that should have been going into co-parenting effectively and raising these children has been put into raising hell. Mel said, I've tried to do the co-parenting thing positively, and this is the stuff that, people don't know because I haven't talked about it, but I will when I'm ready. There's always the 20-something babysitters. Martell said 24, to be exact. Mel started flipping her hair again. She said, that is so ridiculous because the number of people that my kids have stayed with are my mom and my aunt. Those are the only two people whose homes they've stayed at overnight. And once my brother came and stayed overnight with them at my house for, I think, one night, maybe two. Martell said it was 2 nights. Mel said, yeah, 2 nights because I had to fly to Texas. Martell said, yeah, and I was in town. And not only was I in town, I didn't even know you were out of town. So I was in town and could have kept my kids, but you had them at the house with your brother. What Martell is basically asking for is first rights of refusal. If you have something to do during your custodial weeks, I should be the first option for you to come to for childcare. If I'm unavailable, then you outsource childcare. Now, the problem with that is going to be from Melody's perspective. She's going to be insecure about coming to ask him for help with childcare because she's going to feel like he's going to use that against her. Mel said, this is just another case of Martell doing Martell, and I've been quiet for a long time and letting him run with this narrative, and when I'm ready to expose it all and speak about it, I will, with all the receipts to prove everything like I always do. No, I think it's once you get your story together, especially being that we done caught you in all kinds of plots and lies in this reunion. So Carlos asked Martell, do you feel like it's fair for you to ask for full custody? Martell said, well, if we can't come to an agreement sharing custody, then there is no other way. If she doesn't have time for the kids, then I'll take on that responsibility and she can just see the kids when she got time. Well, yeah, there is another way. There's a couple other ways. First of all, why y'all can't get a nanny? Everybody is up here claiming they got a bag. Everybody balling. But y'all can't secure childcare? This ain't rich people problems. I don't get why y'all can't secure one childcare specialist, a nanny, someone who's on duty, on call, that y'all can use whenever whichever parent has custody for the moment has something to do. Why can't? Part of the problem is I feel like they're more destruction driven than solution driven. Y'all aren't looking to resolve the issues. Y'all are looking to destroy each other. Carlos moves on and he brings up the trip to Destin. He starts by saying how it was really refreshing to see and it reminded everyone of old times. He, of course, plays the reel, so we see all of the planning and the actual trip to Destin. And then he asks Martell, how does it make him feel to see that? Martell said it's something that he misses. It's something that he genuinely misses. And Carlos said, well, what is it that you miss? Martell sat there for a second and it looked like he was trying to stop himself from getting emotional. And he kind of just sat there and stared at Carlos for a second. And Tisha finally passes him a piece of tissue because you look like you about to break down. And he kind of just pushes the tissue away and laughs. And Carlos decides he wants to dig deeper. Carlos starts his monologue. Martell, here's what I think is happening with you. I think you're troubled inside because you don't want to show this side of you for some reason. And I don't understand why. And my concern for you, I'm very concerned about you. And I'm concerned about you because Martell is looking like, I know. I feel like at one point you had this great heart, and I feel like you're so angry. Mel is sitting over there like she about to cry out and fall out. Marcel grabs the tissue and starts passing it down. He's looking like, I gotta keep a straight face, but is this shit happening for real? Tisha passes the tissue to Martell. Martell threw the tissue at Carlos's child. When I tell you the only crying I did was crying laughing, oh my God, I am so sorry. But that was hilarious to me. Martell threw that damn tissue in that chair like, here, shut up. Just fix your face. I rewound that so many times. I am so sorry. I know this man is dead serious. And I know he is crying from the bottom of his heart. But that shit was funny to me. I'm sorry. Kimmy passes Mel some tissue because she over there looking like she about to come undone. Mary, don't you weep. And I think you feel like you have to put up this facade of being tough and being strong. And you're so afraid of just saying, I made a mistake. I think you're still in love with Melody, and I think it's okay to say that. I hate to interrupt such an emotional moment, but I think everything he just said applies to Melody, which is probably why she's the one having the emotional reaction to it. I think he's channeling the right message, but he's delivering it to the wrong person. Carlos continues, when you say you miss that, that is your family. And at the end of the day, this woman is your family and your children. Kids feel energy. And I think for so long, your kids have felt the energy of you two being in a bad place. The thing about Melody and Martell is it's magic when y'all are together. I think you're sad. And I think when you have these outbursts of anger, it's because you're afraid of being vulnerable. You're afraid of saying, I miss my family. Martell just deep sighed, kind of shook his head and just sat there in silence. Everything he just said applies to Melody. But for some reason, you're not expressing this level of concern about the facade that she is putting up. And it's screaming, I'm afraid to ruffle her feathers. Mel gives that she's troubled inside and she feels like she has to put up a facade of being tough and strong because she's afraid of showing her vulnerability. She actually demonstrates all of that. And to be honest, I feel like Mel has a twinge of regret in regard to blowing up her marriage, because I really feel like if the public had not been in her business, if she didn't feel the need to live up to a certain expectation of her fan base, I really think she and Martell would have worked through whatever their issues were and they would still be together, because she clearly still wanted her marriage. You're not continuing to conceive with a man who you are fully aware is having an outside relationship and you don't want him. And the real kicker for me is Carlos talking about how Mel and Martell are magic together. I can't even take that serious after you've profited from the breakdown of this marriage and this family for 4 or 5 seasons. Now they're magic together. So Carlos goes on to ask Martell, do you regret what happened with you guys? And Martell said, yeah, I regret it. I regret a lot of the stuff that I put us through because we did have the perfect marriage at one point. Martell did sound like his voice was trembling and he wanted to cry himself. And Martell said, you know, we always had each other's backs. And what I really miss is my children being able to come home to the both of us. So Carlos turns to Mel and he asks her, what makes you get emotional as we sit here and talk about this? And she said, you know, just the whole thing, the divorce, the demise of the marriage, you know, and there are children involved. So the whole thing is just saddening when you really look at it and think about it. But, you know, we've been divorced going on 2 years. And so for me, you know, I'm done. I never would have thought that I would have children with a man that I end up not even liking. I never would have thought that. And that's very hard. So that's why we're getting emotional. And we think it's Martell that has the issue with emotional honesty, expression, and vulnerability. Okay. So Carlos starts explaining that, you know, I know a lot of damage has been done, but from the outside looking in, what it looks like is when a woman chooses her career and she's in this stardom, for some men, sometimes it can feel like, well, what about me? He said, I'm hard on men, but I'm hard on women too, because I always say, the more you rise, the more you have to remember to always hold your man down, because every husband wants to feel wanted. Mel interrupts to say, I agree that does happen, but that wasn't the case here. Okay, I was still cooking and, you know, and doing everything I was doing. And I mean, it's not that we weren't not having sex because I stayed pregnant. I mean, goddamn, I stayed pregnant. I stayed pregnant. Were you not participating in that? I mean, like the Destin trip, we would do that 2-3 times a year when we were together. So no job, no career, no aspirations ever came between us being able to do things with each other or our kids and friends. And so no, I cannot sit here and act like it was just a situation of, oh, Melody forgot about her husband. Carlos said, well, I wasn't saying that, but let me ask you this. If you could go back and do things all over again, is there anything you would have done differently? Mel said, I mean, well, I probably would have listened a little bit more. I mean, not saying that I didn't listen, because I did, but I mean, I could have listened a little bit more. But again, no matter what I would have done, it wouldn't have been enough. And I'm not a robot, so it wouldn't have been enough. So the problem is just going to be him. The problem is all him. You have absolutely no accountability, even though your husband came to you and expressed his needs and concerns, and you told him to go get a girlfriend. That you have absolutely no accountability. It's just, he gonna be the problem henceforth, now, and forevermore. Okay. And of course, Carlos asked her absolutely nothing about her response because we're just treating accountability like kryptonite. Carlos said, at the end of the day, his only hope is that they can get back to some version of what we saw in Destin, where they can at least come together and get along for the sake of their children. And since there is no taking of accountability, we is taking our ass on to the next segment. We're moving on. The next segment is Louis and Tiffany. Chuck, let me just get through this. They still get on my nerves, okay? As Carlos is reading their whole intro and they're talking about Louis's complaint that Tiffany don't have time to give him none because she too busy at work. They do this obviously rehearsed to look at each other like, oh God, they irk me. When I tell you, if I didn't have to review this show, I would fast forward through. Oh. Carlos starts their segment with asking how they felt about the trip to the cabins. Tiffany said she felt set up because she was only going to support Tisha getting Marceau to go, but then Dr. Francis got all in their business. Marceau joked about them trauma bonding on the trip. Carlos said, yeah, y'all might have trauma bonded, but Tiffany, you look like you didn't bond with Dr. Francis. And a lot of people saw your reluctance to listening to him, so much so that you even left early. Tiffany's ignorant, disrespectful as bust out. Well, everyone has an opinion, just like everyone has an asshole. I felt like he treated us like secondary. Like he didn't even ask us anything about our marriage, if this was our second marriage. He knew nothing about us and judged us on the fact that we had agreed to prioritize work. I had a call that my husband knew about, and from that moment on, I was on his shit list. Carlos said, but you don't think you did anything to contribute to that? Tiffany said, I communicated very early that I had a meeting. I feel like he could have been more excited that my husband and I communicate. So, in other words, you're pissed off that he didn't participate in the charade of a relationship that y'all have. Okay. Carlos said, well, a question we got a lot is a lot of people would like to know how it feels to be diagnosed as fake. Louis said, well, we were never actually diagnosed as fake. I think those were Marceau's words, come up with better jokes. What Dr. Francis actually said is we treat our relationship like a game. That's what he said. Louis said, ain't nothing fake about this right here. Just like I told you last year, just sit back and watch. And we've sat here for a year and shown to be consistent in what we do. Yeah, y'all is consistently full of shit. And they all in the background, yeah, that's true. Shut y'all lying asses up. Because no, it's not. These people came on this show playing like they had the blueprint for marriage 2.0, only to find out that Tiffany ain't letting this man touch her until she wanted a baby to secure her future. Y'all just shut up. And that's exactly what Carlos went on to ask them about. Carlos said, I think the bigger storyline is that Louis was complaining about not getting sex. And I think that's interesting because when y'all came on last season, y'all came on like y'all were this hot knocking the boots type of couple. Louis starts lying because that's what they do. I mean, well, we were only talking about a few weeks. I mean, this is just a few. I mean, we're not talking about months or anything. Tisha and Marceau looking like what? Louis said, I mean, I know words were put out there that it was months, but it wasn't months. It was weeks. Trust me. I don't trust you. I don't believe you're saying. I believe that Tiffany done gotten your ass for telling the entire public that she ain't giving you none after she been selling the sex kitten story. And now you got to save face. This is, no, she been giving me something. It was just a few weeks. I'm sorry I lied. I know there was words put out there. Who put the words out there? We ain't in y'all room. He claims they're past that, and the proof is she's pregnant. Tiffany announces that she is 4 months pregnant. It is a little boy. They've already picked the name Ace, and that means unity because this baby is going to be the piece that ties their whole family together. Yay! Okay, bye. So we move on to the final segment, which is Kimmy and Maurice. So, of course, this segment is dedicated to discussing Kimmy's health issues and her battle with cancer. Carlos starts out by thanking Kimmy for her courage in sharing everything that she's going through. And he asked her how she's doing. And she said, well, I know I might not look okay, but I'm okay. Carlos said, you look okay to me. Tisha said, you look great. Look okay ain't the issue. She said it took her a minute to get to this place of being okay because, of course, she had to go through the process of why me, and she had to make a decision about staying on this show. And she said with Maurice's help, she decided that she wanted to go forward with the show because initially she didn't. It would have been very easy for her to just stay home and be sad and go through this, but she feels like being married and being on this show have helped her to stay active and stay ahead of her situation. She said though she had some reservations about sharing her story on the show, when she realized how disproportionately African American women are affected by the very cancer that she is dealing with, she knew that she had to share her story. And she stressed the importance of needing to follow up more often and more aggressively if you're predisposed. She said she has a very aggressive form of cancer, but at this point, she's a whole bitch about it. She is fighting back and kicking ass because she is going to get past this. She is more than halfway done with her chemo at this point. She has to have surgery, and then she has 30 rounds of radiation. She said regardless of the outcome, she knows that her story is going to help people. Carlos shares that he is a very private person and normally wouldn't share a whole lot, but he shared that he lost his mom to breast cancer. And unfortunately, his mom never went to the doctor. She went through it in secret. He said he knows that much of the viewing audience of this show is Black women, and he knows for a fact that Kimmy is encouraging a lot of Black women to get off the couch and go to the doctor because Black people is scared to go to the doctor unless we see blood. He said that before his mom passed, she really loved this show. And in his dreams, his mom came to him and told him to share her story because of Kimmy's bravery. She doesn't want anyone else to go through what she went through. He let her know that he really appreciates her honesty and transparency and sharing her story on the show, that she's encouraging women to get mammograms. And he mentioned asking for ultrasounds, which is a piece that a lot of women do not know and doctors do not offer. And oftentimes that can make a big difference in your treatment. He told Kimmy she looks amazing, blonde lace front and all, and we move to close this reunion. Carlos goes into his Jerry Springer closing remarks because y'all gonna give 1 minute of sense after hours of foolishness, child. Carlos said tonight has been very tough. A lot of things have been said. Relationships may not be where they used to be, but we gotta love on who we can while we can because life truly is short. He thanks them for an amazing season, tells them how proud he is of all of their work and accomplishments. He thanks the fans for enduring to the very end and closes with a message to the mellow meters. Leave me alone. He said, I'm actually a nice guy. I wish y'all would just leave me alone. And that's a damn shame. The mellow meters done got cursed out by some of every damn body because y'all don't know how to act. Leave people alone. But that's it. That's all. And I ain't got no more. Thank you. I can literally feel myself de-stressing knowing that the season is over. Thank you so much for coming down here listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. As always, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.